got rented, bought, whatever, the home of our dreams. Time out real quick. We got a little message up on the screen over there. Technical message. Just give me a moment. Sorry, Joe. All right, and we're back. Okay, good. So these are some of my favorite house blessing spells, and they can be made a lot of fun. So if you are the family witch type, and this is a great one for everyone. I'm gonna share with you guys two. The first one is going to be what I call the annual. We'll say we do this once a year, and that's our annual blessing. And I like to give these actually away. So this is if you guys don't know, Samhain is the witch new year, unlike January 1st. So for us, it's actually really important. We do a lot of New Year celebration on Halloween. So what I like to do is carve pumpkins. So what I typically do, this makes a great Halloween gift to family members. And it's great because you're carving pumpkins. So the first thing, so it's a very simple spell. Number one, get a pumpkin and get all your pumpkin carving tools that you do. Number two, pick out your favorite veve or sigil. And take a moment to kind of how you would put with a marker, kind of draw it on the pumpkin. And then take your pumpkin carving tools, start carving away. And once you've carved all of it, don't carve through, just kind of scrape it till you go about 50% thin into the meat of the pumpkin.
So it has the membrane still showing, so that when you light it up, it shows through like a window. I love it again.
So Rhea has been
Rhea has diarrhea of the tongue. Sorry.
Well, she knows because she receives these every year.
I love them. That's hilarious.
You can put holes in them. I did one where I actually used Rhea's House Blessing Sigil, which is one of my favorites. And I actually poked a hole through the sun at the top of the house, so it looks like a little dormer in the attic. Right. The light eyes brightly shining out, right? So you don't necessarily that. Yes, it's illuminating the house.
Yes.
And so, I like to do nice thicker lines because the thicker lines, when you only carve a pumpkin halfway through, it kind of gives a really nice soft glow. So it's really happy and welcoming. And then maybe I'll highlight it by carving out a couple portions so you can actually see the light coming through. Yeah. Right? But I do it like nice and big on the pumpkin.
So you can see the light.
Yeah, it looks like slash mouth.
You can
Chucky.
Thank you.
Return of Chucky.
Oh, the guy with the mask.
I mean, okay.
Oh my God.
If you happen to be someone who's doing this and you don't want people to know that there's house blessing, that's totally cool. You can do Chucky on the other side of the pumpkin. It won't ruin the spell at all. I made one with a meme, with an emoji meme face once on one side and a house blessing on the other. Again, it doesn't ruin the spell if you do a regular pumpkin on one side, you just do the sigil on the other, because the magic is in the happiness and the joy of carving it.
That's right. Even if it looks like Chucky.
At the end of the day, it's all about the intention.
Exactly. And then you take a tea light. I personally, you can put some, oil it with your intention, and you put it in there and you light it. You can also put a petition under your tea light, and then but you do use a real tea light at least the first go around when you have it, because you want to make sure that you get the house blessings, right? And you can give it to people, and it's really cute. And it's just a really, really nice gift. It's also a very powerful house blessing gift. And it lifts spirits, it makes people happy. And on top of it, once it goes, you can,
The pumpkin is also considered a board of wealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
shoes.
Yes.
Yep.
Honey pot.
You put some honey in the pumpkin.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do that too. So you can also.
You can really go crazy with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I gave you guys a very simple spell, but you can put honey. So if you worship Oshun, put honey in it.
A little glitter.
Glitter, you can put glitter in it. You can,
Yeah.
I like
jazz
the
it up.
glitter its eyebrows.
you
personally.
can also, yeah, so you can also carve it and then decorate it with paint, with glitter, with stickers, however, right? So you want to make that as festive and fun and expressive of you, right? Of the kind of joy that you want to bring into the home, or you want to give to someone for their home, right? So if you get this gift, it's really nice because somebody is wishing you to have a blessed year in the next next year. So this is a really great, night light. It's fun, it's cute, you can put it out on your porch and everything. So that's one. Then the other house blessing that I wanted to, and this is also another fun one for the whole family. Very crafty stuff. If you haven't noticed, I like to work with my hands.
Gag her. She's gonna give it away again.
I'm biting my
Yeah.
tongue.
Gag her.
So I love you.
She's gonna give it away.
I'm not sure. I know, but I'm trying to figure out what part she's gonna give away.
All right, go ahead, the best part. There's gonna be-
Recording in progress.
What? Mercury still retrograde.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten some weird retrograde stuff happening. College dorms. So I'm just gonna answer a couple questions before we go a little further, just because I happen to see. So any particular type of cigar? Like the individual. I like to get the individually wrapped ones from like the shops that sell cigarettes. Those work. That's fine. So yes, imagination is the best career skill. You've ever heard fake it till you make it?
Yeah.
So, and then any ideas for college dorms? Well, it works the same way.
The tarot
Yeah,
card is the
100%.
best answer for that.
You heard Lady
You
Rhea.
could get like a mini deck,
Yep.
something small,
Mhm.
because dorms are small, but.
Yep.
You could put the card out on your desk. What are they gonna say? You like to look at a tarot card while you're sitting there.
College is full of weirdos. So, but yeah, you can, so it's actually you could definitely use, like Lady Rhea said, she gave the right answer. The tarot deck spell that I just showed you guys works like a charm. Quick thing, do not put crystals in your bag when you're flying on the airport on your carry-on. They'll think it's something crazy and stop you. This happened to my friend this week. So always make sure, because for those I'm assuming who are going away to college, going to a dorm, or probably traveling, if you guys are traveling by plane, please put in your checked luggage. Otherwise, I don't want you guys to miss your flight. So next, I'm going to tell you guys about fun for the whole family. And this one's cute, also is giftable, but I just didn't like to do it. Can I ruin it? Yes, yes, you can.
Gag her, tell her.
No. If she's going she's gonna,
No gag her.
I'm gonna say, because I got this one and then I got one more, and let's see if she's gonna go for 4 for 4. Right now we're 2 for 2. And so this one is, we'll say a little bit more involved, but it's actually great. Go to the 99-cent store, go to Michael's, and get yourself one of those. So this is great to do during the holidays for Yule. Or Christmas, whatever you celebrate.
Oh, I know what it is. Sorry.
You can get, I like to get the clear ones because I like to see what's inside.
Good one.
So Christmas ornament.
Oh,
So you get a Christmas ornament.
You get a Christmas ball.
Yep.
You get a set of balls.
Christmas cojones.
You're giving me everybody tonight.
No, I'm having a good time.
I hope you're all enjoying this because we love each other so much and we can't
Well, if you're
convince each other when we're
a lesbian or a feminist, get Christmas eggs.
Mhm.
All right, you can get them 10-pound eggs.
No, all seriousness aside, this is a great spell. I'll stop.
Yeah. So anyway, you get yourself a Christmas ornament. If you're a discreet, you get yourself one that's already silver. Get it blue. Get it in the color of what you want to manifest. Remember, every money house blessings are typically you're going to go for a gold. You can go for a green. Those are going to be your colors that you're going to want to go to for money house blessings. So you get one. You can get a clear colored one, you can get a solid metallic one that doesn't have anything in it, you can or on it, or if you want to be discreet or you want to get a clear one if you're like me because you like to see what's inside. Any of these work. And the next thing that you're going to do is, again, you're going to grab that paper bag, paper. And this was taught to me actually by a co-dedicant that you know, I was in a class and he taught us this really great spell. The gentleman's name is Adam, so give credit where credit is due. I've done the spell, I love it, and it is wonderful. So you want to set your intentions for the year. If you're using Yule as your holiday calendar, this is kind of where, remember, our New Year is, so witchcraft's kind of complicated. Our New Year is Halloween, but Yule is actually the shortest day of the year. So it's when 1 year ends of darkness and light for the new year comes, right? So it's a little odd because you can think about it from a lunar standpoint. Yule is technically the turnaround, as Litha, which is summer solstice just passed, was the other turnaround going into the winter. Just so you can read about it. It's really fascinating stuff. Anyway, what you do is you get your petition, and you're going to do this. We'll say again, this is an adaptation from Afro-Caribbean traditions. Do what they call a hoodoo style petition, which is where you write without taking your pen off the paper, typically in a circle. And what you do again is you put the intentions of what you want blessings in the house. You can write the names of the people inside the circle where they represent the names of the people inside your home. And you can say, my family is healthy, happy, safe, prosperous, and so forth. Protected.
Never without.
Yep. Never thirsty, never hungry, always happy.
I'd have to pick my pen up by now.
You and I have to practice a couple times. Right? So you put down your intention, or for what you want, maybe things you want to let go from the previous year. This is a good time to do that. Then next, what you do, you cleanse your Christmas globe, your Christmas ornament. Typically, you wash the inside with water or salt. Similar stuff that you cast blessings with. Keep it light on the chemically side because you don't want the interior to deteriorate. You can smudge it if you want. Any one of those means work. And then you want to gather the herbs that reflect the intentions that you want in your home. So if you want protection, you get some protective herbs, rosemary, sage. You want some blessings and good energy, you get some citrus peel, you can get some bay leaves, you can get some cinnamon sticks. You can crush them and put them in there, or you can keep them whole if you have a clear globe and you want to make it look pretty and aesthetic. You will fold up the paper, and if you have oil, you anoint it, tie it up, and drop it in. And then you seal it, right? You can throw some crystals in there if you've got crystals. Make it really pretty and use all of the elements.
Make sure that they could pass through the hole, because if you force it through the hole, it'll crack.
And it's very thin glass.
It's very thin glass or plastic, so you don't want to break it, because then you'll feel like, oh, my magic's not working.
They also have those ornaments that are intended for like engagement rings.
Yes.
And they open up.
Yeah, they open up. Those are fabulous. Bravo, Rita.
Yeah.
See? We didn't have to gag, huh? I'm sorry.
So once you place it and you're going to seal it, right? You use some glue, seal the top. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your sigils or your bebe. So if you can't do that because you're private, just draw them, shove them in there in little tubes of, on paper, works the same. If you want, you can draw them yourself with hand with markers and glitter, and really
Glitter glue works really good.
glitter glue is perfect. Embellish it, and really make it an ornament. Once you do, place it in your Christmas tree. If it doesn't fall, your wish. By the time you take down your tree,
if you have a cat, don't
Make
count
it
on it.
light. Make it light.
or put it really high up and like really like in there, right?
My cats climb up into trees, knock them over.
So use physics too. Don't be like, all right, well, deities, I'm gonna stick it on like the top, like the branch all the way out here and hope it doesn't fall. Chances are it will fall. It's a tree, it dries, it will fall.
And if it falls, so you clean it up And you know what, we, a lot of magical practitioners like myself take it like, if someone was throwing a hit, better the ball fell and broke, and nobody died.
That's true, but it doesn't mean that something bad's gonna happen if the thing breaks, just
Right.
putting it out
This
there.
means you're not gonna get,
It's-
you're not
yeah,
gonna get your wish.
but that doesn't mean that you're not gonna have a good year, right? So let's just put that into perspective, you're still gonna have a good year, because a lot of it is what you make of it. But maybe that that method of asking for it might not have been the way to go. But if you put it, if it's plastic, one it doesn't break. So what you do is you put it in your tree, and again, that's at the end of the year. I like to keep mine, other people do other things with it, I think it's really cute to have them. You know, and so you consider it like a 1-year spell of blessings for the home. Everyone likes to make them, you can make 5 of them if you want, you can put a whole family in there, see if you have extra ones and one breaks, doesn't mean that your wish won't come true because you got 4 more in there. But anyway, it's a lot of fun, and you can also give them away as gifts too, but they tend to be more personal when you have a petition on it. So that's why I said those are really more for you and your family.
You can give it away without the petition, like I said, you give me one. And you tell me, Rita, this is what this is for, make a petition. So now I'm putting in my petition.
Right, and then you seal it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can also do
Go
it
ahead.
with, and then, you know, you don't have to make it very, very specific, but let's say I wanna wish Rita financial success and prosperity in our home. I'm gonna still put the house blessing herbs in there, but I'm not gonna say what I want it to be. I can put a seal on it or a sigil or a beve on it, but I give it to Rita because Rita's gonna put the finishing touch, and that's what she's asking for in there. Also, you don't have to.
Also, you can't ask for something as hard as I can, or something for myself.
Correct.
No one's gonna care
I'm
about your
passionate.
wish as much as you do,
Right.
that's what I tell people all the time.
Mhm.
But I wanna show you this because it's so interesting that we brought this up tonight. So this here is a original and traditional Yule well-wishing ornament for a tree. It's a pomander. It's thousands of
Durian.
cloves stuck into an orange. Then it's wrapped with a red ribbon and they're hung on the tree as an ornament of, not just that you put it in your drawer later on because they're dry, it's totally dry, it's a pomander, smell it. Smells of cloves. You keep that in your drawer and it keeps moths and bugs away. That's a traditional Yule gift of pressing, and cloves were, you know, a spice that was expensive. So giving this away as a gift was also a treasure because this was a very expensive thing to create for someone. And it is a traditional wealth gift of the Yule season. And that Christmas ball where we're stuffing everything in it actually is a takeoff on this. I have a couple of them and I keep them around near my mazama for good luck. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No,
We
no
have
worries.
questions?
No, just fun reactions. Anybody else? Questions?
Before
About
we go
this?
on to anything else? Y'all having a good time? I know I am.
I'm too.
Okay.
So
Rita will have a good time if she gets to gag me.
I'm the buffer. That's why I'm here. So that's what I wanted to just let you guys know. It's a really great tradition. Again, these are all good vibes, spells. Meaning, if the spell doesn't work today, means that the house that you wanted wasn't on the market for you or available for you, but you keep doing it, and trust me, it'll come to you. And a lot faster, and especially in like this market right now, everyone's out to get something, getting in an opportune spot. You'll see it is perfect and it would work out better than you would have thought for the place that you get.
If
So-
Kimberly is in the room tonight and she's in real estate, when I was searching for a house, I was going crazy. I'm looking myself. And I said, so every time I see one I like, someone else is putting a bigger bid or they walked in with cash. And she said to me, the gods of real estate are very precarious. And when you least expect it, suddenly it's there. And when I least expected it, there it was. There was the house that I purchased, that I love, I'm very happy in. And it's like house hunting or apartment hunting. Yeah, especially if you're under duress because you wanna move out of where you are. Sometimes you just have to, count the bad days as leading up to the good. And you'll get there. But house blessing is more than just about finding homes. So do you have anything else you want to add before we continue on about
Yes.
the deities?
I do. Somebody asked, can runes work in place of sigils? Yes.
Yes, they are sigils.
Yeah.
Sigils, veves,
The
seals,
alphabet is a sigil.
alphabet, anything that you are accustomed to working with in a magical language works.
See, for example, right here on this candle, it says coconut. It's a picture of a coconut. We all know it's a coconut. We could smell it, we know it's a coconut, but that word coconut, if you can't smell it and you're just seeing a white candle and has no writing on it, you're not gonna know it's a coconut candle. But that word coconut is magic in itself because it's relating an image or an idea, a concept, a group of words, create a concept that we can grasp.
Put the lime in the book.
Put the lime in the coconut. We're doing some practical magic here tonight. But this is what I mean by words too, groupings of words, why letters of intention are so important, why mantra, chanting, repetition of saying something is so important. And it also depends on how you're saying it. Affirmation is very important. But also always ending something with thank you, which means that you've already achieved it and that you're grateful for it. And be grateful for it. Be grateful for what you're going to achieve. Go ahead.
So
Ding, ding, ding.
gratitude. Gratitude is really important. Maintaining a positive attitude is really important. Like I said, this is like, imagine reading a tarot deck without ever having any reversed cards. The house blessing spells kind of work the same way, right? At least the ones that we're sharing with you here. Meaning, you're always going to get a good reading to a degree. Sometimes you got to read, take two cards out. But the idea is that it's don't worry, don't stress. I understand that house hunting is stressful. But again, you put positive intentions and maintain positive. If you don't, it's not going to go bad. It's not going to something, whatever. It might just deflate a little bit because you're not feeding it with the energy that you want. Magic is an everyday practice. So I recommend, again, you can put that out there. Pray when you can. If you can't have it out today, but you have it out tomorrow, that's totally cool. You just put there and you believe. And then what's most important is to show gratitude. Being grateful for things is a very powerful work of magic. Because when the deities bring you something and you're grateful, they'll bring you more. If you say, well, it wasn't what I wanted, then they won't bring anything to you next time. Or they'll bring you less than what you asked for because you weren't grateful for what you've got. Gratitude takes you a long way. It also helps change your mindset. Practically speaking, reduces stress and so forth. It makes you more open to positive things to happen. So practicing everyday gratitude, whether you're doing it for magic or not, is actually a very good practice. It's a very healthy practice for people's mindset, but it's also very powerful in house blessing. We spend a lot of times in the home. Last week we talked about those walls being able to talk or hear. They absorb that energy. So, I get it. Everyone has bad thoughts. The key is keep practicing good thoughts or good thinking practices.
Okay, here's an excellent example about that. Ever walk into an apartment and just say, it's a beautiful layout, it's well painted, it's very light, but I just don't feel good in here. I don't like the vibe in here. Now, the odds of you finding out why you don't like the vibe in there are not too good. I'm sorry. But more than likely, it was that there was a lot of combative arguments going on in that apartment for a number of years. The walls have absorbed it. And now when people go in, no matter how freshly painted it is, it's still you're hearing the resonance of the screaming, the yelling, disharmony, the wall that was busted and fixed, the doors that were broken and fixed. You're still feeling that sense of anger vibrating through the apartment. And so you take it because you're under the gun, and now you're smudging it, you're cleaning it, you're calling me up saying, Lady Rhea, I don't know, it's not getting better in here, my life is going downhill. This is why, you know, when you do take a place that does have that kind of energy, you have to work really hard to make sure that you make that energy calm down by doing a lot of clearance, clear white candles, clear bowls of water, crystals all around. And after a week or two, you begin to say, wow, the vibe here is changing, it's calming down. A lot of pure light energy. And staying positive with it. You know, you have to feel like you're a Care Bear in a cartoon, just shoving rainbows out of yourself.
Sound clearing again,
Yeah,
also
Sound clearing. Yeah, so nothing is impossible to fix as far as vibrations or spiritual energies that have grown from that. They're lurking around the corners. Don't feed into them. Treat it like ignore it. Treat it like it's a child having a temper tantrum. Just ignore it. Because the more you feed into it, oh, I'm being attacked, the spirits in here, the more you feed into it, the stronger it grows. So your first line of defense is cut it off. Take a giant scissor, click, gone. You're done. Yeah, you think you're gonna bother me at night, you're not. I got my bowls of water up, I've got my sound going, I've got my incense going. Good night.
Here's the thought. If you have friends who are not spiritually inclined, you bring them over for a party in the space that you've been cleaning, but in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, the negativity that I'm still sitting in, I hope things don't go bad. And they have a good time. And they don't get that vibe because you've been working on cleaning. Remember, part of it is in here. You don't want the spirits to get trapped in here because you still got, you're part of that house, but you don't want to keep that in there because then you just harbor that energy and you're just keeping it somewhat tangible. If you forget about it, you're not aware of it, they would dissipate a lot faster because
It's like you're keeping it alive.
8:54. So
we have it here now left.
all right, so I'm going to close up with one more thing, which I talked about actually in my first house blessing, and that is to do a bluing, a sun print, right? You can buy the sun print paper already made from Michael's, Amazon, pretty cheap. They're in the kids crafting sections, or you can buy the paint, which is like cyanotype paint or photogram paint, and you can paint a fabric or piece of not so much wood, but fabric works well, canvas works well, paper works well of different kinds. And what you'll do is you will take the cyanotype or the sun print version that's already pre-made on a piece of paper. Get your house blessing. So you're gonna need a transparency paper or a cutout of your veve or your seal, or not, but hear me out. Gather the herbs that are associated with your intention. Gather crystals that are associated with your intention. Now remember, shape and size and texture and the way things look actually matter this time. So, pick something that you find pretty. Why? Because now you're in the bathroom with the lights off, taking out a photo, like the photogram paper out of the black, plastic bag that it comes in. And lay it out in very, very, very dim light, so that way no one sees it. Not this light, like maybe crack the door open a little bit. You are going to place your beve, whether on transparency or not. You're going to place your crystals, your herbs, and everything around your on your paper. You're going to arrange it in a way that speaks to you, in a way that speaks to the beve, in a way that connects you to this energy. And then you will carefully, now, I forgot one part, you want to put it on a tray or something so it doesn't flop. You take it outside. The directions are on the box. It's about 10 minutes. You leave it there. And then you let the color develop. You let that dark blue, you let the ferrocyanide, Prussian blue come in, right? You let it take place. And once it's oxidized, take it out, 10 minutes later, you will see the silhouettes of the crystals, you will see the silhouettes of the leaves, you will see the silhouette of your beve. And then you'll take it and you will wash it, rinse it under cold water, If you want to make it dark, increase the contrast, hydrogen peroxide works. I use stormwater, rainwater that I collect, moon water, for blessing, because I like that extra kick. So I don't have to use a whole bucket of it. I'll take a couple drops or like a little bottle of it if I have it, and put it into the bath. It's literally called a bath. So when you stop the development process, if you leave it out too long, it'll just get darker and darker and darker. And so you basically stop it so that the blue and the white contrast doesn't, disappear, right? So you've seen overexposed photos, they kind of all turn black. This thing will all turn blue. Again, the Prussian blue is bluing, right? And that is the oxidized, or after the chemical reaction and stop, that's what that is. But now you have, in the white, the negative space, you have your veve, you have your herb, the imprint of your herbs. You have the solar energy impregnating that paper, and it is absorbing it. So when it's sitting in your home, it is radiating. Then what I like to do, once it's dried, you can, after you run it through the water, you can, frame it. And that's the great thing. You can frame it, nobody will know what it is. You can, put like 5 little veves, you can arrange them in a way that's abstract if you want to be a little bit more discreet. If you want to be bold about it, you can write names and petitions and things on the back or on the front. You can use cascarilla chalk, which is what I like to use to write things. I could also use bluing as a writing instrument inside the blues, right? So I can play with it a little bit. But I typically want to use bluing and cascarilla because, again, these are tools that are actually really good for house blessings, house protection, and house cleansing. And then you frame it. You put it in the house in a prominent spot or wherever you feel it goes best or you vibe with. And that is how you can have your own personal home, personal house blessing or talisman or magical painting that you keep in your house for, we'll say, perpetual blessings.
That's beautiful. And we're gonna talk, we have a little bit of time left, so we're gonna go over the deities tonight very quickly. Because I do want to bring on our beautiful Rhea with the Norman cards. But tonight I have on here an assortment of deities, and like Rita said, it looks like the 7 train. Of course, we have Lakshmi here, and I also brought out Oshun and Kuan Yin, and this is Nang Kwak. This is the Filipino Lakshmi. If you go to a Filipino restaurant, 90% of the time you're going to see an image of her, and she is the giver of wealth. So Oshun, Kuan Yin with mercy, Santa Muerte, I have her out tonight. It's a gold, all gold. I have also an image of Alegua, and I even put out a gold skull, and an elephant, and I have a Buddha, and I have a cornucopia. So, and Ganesha. So there's many ways of creating a house wealth. These types of deities that give blessings to you and wealth will give you blessings in your home. And this is like something fun. I went to, at Easter time, they were selling these gold glittered eggs. And, right, and this is actually a wealth vase that is filled with rice, crystals, and prayers. And it's erected in the name of Lakshmi. John Reynolds did a ritual where we created wealth vases, and I've had it ever since. And it's wrapped with, it's just simply wrapped with thread around a red cloth to cover it. But that gave me an idea. And so I took this egg that they come apart, and I filled it with candy, gold coins, and all gold wrapped candy, all in the name of Lakshmi. I blessed it in her name, and I keep it as my golden egg on top of my wealth vase. I also have here tonight Chango and Hotai. These Buddhas are very lucky, and they're very good to have around the house. you put them in different corners, or you create an altar that's dedicated to financial blessing. And so I also have here, we
that
have,
big one in front of the house.
right,
I'm gonna mention something about Shango.
yes.
Shango is syncretized with Saint Barbara, who is the patron saint of architecture.
And we have Oshun, I have Alegua, he runs the streets. Alegua and Ganesha, they're synchronized as being the same deities. So when
Cutest Legua.
when you want to establish a wealth altar, of course, you don't have to do this, but you should have stones, you should have crystals, because it's earth and wealth is earth. You should have an image or a deity you feel that you can relate to, Lakshmi. I happen to like
Money.
Kuan Yin personally because she's the Chinese goddess of mercy, and we actually have a 5'1" cut out of stone in our garden here at the Enchanted, Lady Rhea's Enchanted Parlor.
All of enchantments.
The Parlor of Enchantment. And also there are different types of candles. I mean, like I have here tonight to show you different ways of money house blessing. I brought in a solar blast to show you that bringing that good fortune. When I carve a solar blast, those rays that go down into the cauldron is very interesting, because you see, starting at the top, the pentagram, which represents you and or deity, is showering you in a rainbow of color, and the cauldron in catching it is not a leprechaun story. That cauldron represents creation, the womb, and the 3 legs on the cauldron represent the triple will of the goddess. And in each of those rays of the rainbow, I write different words depending on what the person needs. So I might write joy in one strip, love in another, harmony or peace in another, and success in another. And their name goes in the cauldron of creation. So we have the goddess or deity streaming peace, love, joy, success in a rainbow of colors, all down into the cauldron of creation, of which is who you are, where you're sitting. So this is a very good for house blessing. Sometimes I do house blessing candles for money house blessings in green. I do them in yellow. I've done them in white, also for clearing out the money problems out of the house, depending on what spirit is telling you, what you're thinking, and how you're pulling together your magical operation. On the other end, however, showing I have a purple Santo Muerte. Santo Muerte in purple is said to be a road opener. So in this case, we want to open up the road to good fortune, to money. So we can put like a road opener candle like this, and you can add showers of money with the road opener, all with Santo Muerte, all to bring in financial blessing. And also you can get some money herbs and boil them in a pot, strain them, pour it into your mop water, and mop your house with it, or put it in a spray bottle and add a fixative like Florida water or Colonia 1800 Sandalo, or gardenia or naranja, orange, and actually just mist your house every day with it, so that it doesn't, because some people have carpets, and besides baking soda on the carpets or carpet fresh baking soda, you could just mist your house with an herbal spray, mist your bed, and mist your kitchen, because your kitchen is where your money is. It's where you create your food, your sustenance, where all the money comes in to support that room. That room is the most important. Without food, we have no life. And always, 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 when I want to say this, before I eat my food, I not only bless it, but I always end it with, and thank you for giving your life to sustain mine. thank you, because the gratitude for what gave its life so that you could eat. And that means food will always come back to you because you had gratitude for what you received. Whether you're sitting in a fancy restaurant or you're cooking at home, you know, food is an essential part of money house blessing. Also, Oshun is very known for money house blessing and making the house lively and full of parties. Chango is also known for liking a lot of parties and dancing. So if you're the type that likes a lot of activity in your money house blessing, you like a lot of people over, they're great for that. They're great for praying to them for that. And you could change your money house blessing every month. 1 month you could be washing your floors with orange peels and cinnamon and cloves, and another month you could be using basil and rosemary. I mean, like, it can change every month. So does anybody have any questions before we end the night with our lovely Rita?
Do you have tarot? Do you have the Norman house blessing? Or
The same
spells?
way, yeah, the same way you would do the tarot spells,
Mhm.
the same thing, like oh, look, you definitely want to put out the house.
Okay.
All right, and then symbolically what it stands for, safety,
Move
protection,
this out of your way.
and the stars maybe.
Yeah.
You might want to put the heart in there, you know, what it,
This home is where the heart is.
so heart is happiness, so, you know, yeah, the same with the crystals, the same way we said.
Yeah, we also use Lenormand cards, but I did want to bring Rita on tonight to talk a little bit more about how excited we are that some of you have started signing up for her
Thank you.
fabulous, we're so excited for her fabulous Lenormand class coming up. It's 10 weeks of class to learn the language of Lenormand. And when you use Lenormand cards in the right sentences, the right language in a house blessing or money house blessing, this magnifies it like a true statement. It's like there's nothing otherworldly about it. It's like writing a written letter. But we're gonna let her talk a little bit more about Lenormand tonight. Does anybody have a question about house blessing? Or if you're looking for money for your house or for a house, we're gonna hit Rita up for a fast read. So anybody have any questions? No?
We're saying I got a lot of thank yous and I got a lot of happy full moons. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Full moon.
Have a blessed full moon.
Blessed full. I took a picture of the full moon last night and threw it up on Facebook because I just started praying to her for peace, prosperity, and protection. And that's another one. Of course, the moon. You can always pray to the moon for financial house blessing, for bringing love in the home, money in the home. But yeah, I'm
You could
really.
use the cycles of the moons for your house blessings. You could also use the signs they're in to help you with your spells and your blessings.
Yeah. So
So
we do have a question from Nixie. As far as financial blessings, what about jars and bottles? Like honey jars
Yeah.
or manifestation bottles?
Hello, Nix. How are you? Welcome. I hope you're enjoying tonight. I invited Nix personally from my Enchanted by Lady Rhea page to come and join us because I've been watching his tarot sessions online and I find them very entertaining. And of course, Rita does, and very factual. And of course, Rita does tarot every Saturday night. Not tarot, oh God. Sorry. Rita does Lenormand every Saturday night, the card party on Enchanted by Lady Rhea. And when she's doing this Lenormand class, guess what? I'm taking it with her.
Me too.
So we will be there nudging her while she's trying to teach. So please,
I'm getting out my grammar book.
bring your gags.
bring your gauge. She said, I love her.
Your English grammar book from 5th grade will go a long way because I use that more than I use the little booklet that tells me what the cards are.
So, definitely make sure that you all check out the tickets, join us. It will be something you will use the rest of your life. Once you learn how to use a Lenormand deck, you will refer to it the rest of your life, even if you're just at a state where Okay, I wanna know yes or no.
Yeah.
You will use Lenormand cards, they are so accurate, I can't
They're
speak
really very easy, it's really, well,
well
to me
enough about
anyway, you know.
So no, you, in 10 lessons,
It's really.
she had me using the
It's
cards.
really easy to learn because it's like a method. It's not tarot where it's intuitive and psychic and all that. This is an actual method that you use. And
Practice.
at the end of 10 weeks, you should be able to read at least 2 cards. You need 2 cards to read, to make a statement. So, you know, usually 3 cards is what most people use. Some people use 5 or whatever. But yeah, you should be, it's really simple. It's a language that you're doing. The first card is the subject, the second card modifies the subject, and you go on with the rest of the sentence.
That's why I said grammar book.
It's kind of a logical system. It's like this is an oracle that uses logic.
I love that.
It's almost like astrology.
I was speaking to somebody about it earlier today, and I said to her, so look at it this way. You want to check out a person. You want to say, well, what are they really like? And so you shuffle the cards, and you could put the significator out.
That's how I like to do it.
You put the male card
I
out.
take the mail card out. I'll just teach you
Listen to the
a
teacher.
little technique that I use.
All
So
right.
you want to
You
know.
got her going.
I know, don't get me started. You want to know about this new guy that you met. So I don't want to get into all details, but this is how you would lay it out in a grand tableau where you use all 36 cards. So you take the card of the man out. Where are you, man?
Man, where are you?
You can never find a man. All right. Here he is.
Who could find the man when we're looking for one?
Right? You never find a man. All right, so you take the man card out. If you're talking about love, you take the heart. If you're talking about a relationship, you take out the ring. You take out whatever topic you're talking about. You take out that card. So the cards are facing this way, and I put him face up, right? And then I shuffle it this way. When I'm looking for him, maybe he's easy to find, right? So you shuffle the cards. And you want to know about a guy. That's the question. I want to know about this person. How was he? You know, blah, blah. All right. So then you start looking for that card. And remember, he's face up. So you'll be able to see him right away. Where are you?
I told you. Can't.
Oh, come on, move on.
All right, so here he is. All right, so you're going to see it because he's face up and the other cards are face down. So you take the 2 cards ahead of him, and that's your past. All right.
What's it say about
So,
him? Ray? Tell us. Give us
In
the
his
dirt.
past, he's had a loyal relationship, a long-standing relationship with somebody. So that's his past, but it could go into the future. So here he is, and I have 2 cards in the front. I get the lilies and the clouds. I would say this guy's a flake.
Exactly
I
my
would say
point.
no, you know, he's got somebody, he can't let go of that person. It's been going on for a long time, and he can't make up his mind. Those clouds at the end tell me everything.
See? Simple.
It's a really simple, and then, you know, you look for
A
the
tarot spread, I'd have 40 cards out already to tell you the same thing.
I mean,
love
this was down and dirty. I mean, then you start combining cards, the 2 winning cards. But you know, that's an easy way to do it, where you just look for the card that you're talking about, and the cards in front of him and the cards behind him. This is his past and his future. And,
Simple.
Mhm.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be there
Me too.
every Thursday night, attending class with the rest of you, even though I've already had my 10 lessons. I'm gonna bite another 10 because it's just so fascinating, and there's always something new to learn with the Lenormand deck that, you know, she always amazes me. I can't thank both of these beautiful women that have joined me, because what's a cafe without a few girls talking,
Mhm.
you know, having a cigarette, a cup of coffee, a joint, you know, a drink, a wine, whatever you're having tonight,
Piece of
enjoy
cake.
it. This is our cafe time, people. This is like The Enchanted Cafe, the concept of us is that you come into a cafe where you can sit down amongst other magical practitioners, and we all start talking about our methods, how we work, what we do, what we share. And so every Thursday night, I will be here. But, please join us for Rita's class, buy it up, because we want to have a nice, happy group.
Yeah, I'm gonna have homework.
Oh, yeah, she
I
gets
don't play
homework.
around,
She
so,
don't play.
if you don't learn, it's because you didn't try. Because I really put a lot of effort into it, and I try to answer everybody's questions. And I think that in 10 weeks, you really should,
You should be able to use them on yourself.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
what should I do
with
this
your
or
friends,
not?
and you're not gonna put up a shingle. But, it'll get you started.
So we have a question from Zeneva Jones,
Hey, baby, how are you? Good to see you tonight.
and she asks, how can I join the class?
Oh, okay.
The class,
Thank you.
the tickets are available on esoteric.nyc, www.esoteric.nyc. If you text me 718-892-5350 or through Facebook Messenger, we're friends, I will happily send anybody the link tonight if you feel you have any difficulty in finding it. But this is, I'm telling you, one phenomenal ride. And you know how I got started with this? So Rita and I are talking one day, and I said, let's exchange readings. So she said, okay. So I pulled out my tarot deck and I read her cards and we talked and it was great. And then she said, let me read you now. And she pulls out this little deck and I said,
She laughed
I
at me.
said, are you kidding? What are you gonna tell me with that?
Size comparison, show your deck, I'll show you mine.
She shows me this. I said, what are you gonna do with that? I said, so she's reading these little card games with that, like a gypsy witch deck. She said, no, it's Lenormand. And I said, I tried working with those back in the 70s or 80s. I said, I found them very confusing. She sat down and read me, and I sat there like this. What she told me and explained it, simple, easy sentences. I said, Rita, you have to teach this to me. So eventually she developed a Lenormand class. We had a nice group of women. We all came, we enjoyed it. And I've been encouraging her for the last year, please, let's do a live class, please. And so I'm really telling you, this is the best money, better than a therapist, investing in learning the language of Lenormand, because in the morning, while I'm having coffee, I have my deck out and I'm reading it knowing, okay, should I do this today? Should I do that? It helps me make decisions.
Yes,
Right, because it's very accurate.
And if somebody's, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
if somebody's reading you and you never had a Lenormand reading before, you can follow along because the cards are that simple. Like if you see a picture of a house, you're gonna assume it has to do with homes or family. So you can kind of, it's not like tarot where, well, what the hell is a page of wands?
That's what I was just thinking.
Right?
Yeah.
But Lenormand
We
is simple.
understand what it is, but for clients, it's very
not
hard.
as esoteric. The Lenormand was really
spit it out. You got the page of wands, yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, okay, that's the page of wands. But here, if I say you got the sun or something, it makes sense to you, so.
So a couple things. Let's say we wanted to, when does your class start? And in preparation, we want to get Lenormand decks. What kind of decks would you recommend us to get to start? Because, we like a good starter one to help us follow along.
It should be a deck, first, if you like the pictures, of course, but all the pictures are the same. They're all hearts, they're all trees, whatever. So, the artwork. And I would get a deck that doesn't have a lot of fancy curly cues. Just get a plain deck. This is a blue owl. I like to use a blue owl. It's a plain deck. See, it's like the dog, the bouquet. It's beautiful. And you don't have a lot of distracting
And
images.
the playing cards are an important part of the deck.
Yeah.
Explain why.
This has a picture of the key, the number, and the playing cards. And the playing cards, it has another layer to the meanings of the Lenormand deck. So I recommend you get all three if you can. If you can only get a picture, that's fine too, and the
But
number.
a good deck, it's easy to read too, is Bluebird,
The Bluebird is good.
Under the Roses.
Yeah,
like that
that's
one?
a good one. Dundorf.
I bought the Celestial deck and it's beautiful, but the numbers are very faded. You really gotta stare at it. It has none of the playing cards attached to it, which was a big letdown when I started learning from Rhea how to use the playing cards as they came up in the reading. And even then, I'm just scratching the surface.
Yeah. Then, don't worry about the playing cards
Cards
at
so
first,
much.
but it's good to have them in your deck.
Because eventually
And
you'll
then-
want it.
And the reason I say you want to get a deck that's clear and easy to read, eventually, not at the 10th, when I finish the 10th class, you won't be at this level. Spit it out. You won't be at this level, but there is the Grand Tableau where you use all 36 cards, okay? And if you have 36 cards filled with glyphs and what do you call that, Rococo and all that crazy stuff, you'll never be able to see the reading. So that's why I say, the simpler the better. We have a lot of beautiful decks out now. At first, they only had a few decks, and Lenormand is really catching on, and there are a lot more decks out there. There are a lot more books. When I first started, there were like 2 books out. Now there's a lot of them. Everybody's writing a
And a
book.
lot of decks come with books.
Yes.
So they all have their own way of explaining what the card means, but it's always gonna be the same words. It's learning how to string them together, it's like we're in grade school again,
Yeah,
we're learning how to string together a sentence.
You have to use the word in
Great.
context to the question. Like if you pick out a card, what card is it? Okay, I got the stars. Okay. If you pick out the stars in a money question, you're still going to use the definition of stars, but in a money context. If you pick it for you want to buy a house, then you use it in context of buying a house. So the key word,
Question is very important.
the core meaning always remains the same. It's just how do you use it in context to your question. It's not going to be the same meaning for love as it is for buying a house, because it's 2 different things. It's still positive because the card is a positive card,
It's beautiful.
but the meaning is different.
Of course she cuts in star because she is one. She's all the Norman star.
Oh my God.
I like the 7th sphere Lenormand deck, in case you guys were curious.
There are a lot of them, just
I recently purchased maybe Lenormand and
I love that deck.
all right, yeah, and it comes with an extra set of cards, and I said, I'm afraid to open them.
Maybe
I'm still
Lenormand.
trying to go through just a regular Norman. But I really hope you join us on Thursday nights. We will still be continuing to have the Enchanted Cafe. It starts July 8th, the class, and the Enchanted Cafe will then start at 7. And at 8:30, Enchanted Cafe will sign off, and then I'll be going right into the Norman class, sitting next to you, saying, "What does that mean?" I take pictures of my readings.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm like,
And she's like, "Oh God."
another reading. Okay.
So
We thought it was gonna be a picture of her garden or something.
Yeah, something. It's
Yeah.
another reading.
So don't miss out on this fabulous event starting July 8th. It is an investment worth it for yourself. It will give back to 10 million times over the investment for the rest of your life. You'll be able to use this. And she has a great method for you to see how you're developing. I'm not gonna say it because she'll gag me. So I'll
You
let
can't
her
spoil her
I
life,
can't tell you what it is, but she is so smart with how she taught us to be able to determine if we were reading them right or not.
I have a question.
Don't blow it. Go ahead.
So getting people's appetites wet, right? I have a Lenormand deck. I'm gonna go home and play with it now in anticipation for your class. So question for any of us who have Lenormand decks who can't wait. What is something you recommend? What kind of question would you ask yourself in the morning as you're making coffee like Rhea about your day? What's a good question? Because, you got a lot of factors going around about what it is. How do you, get like a daily guidance from a Lenormand deck?
In the beginning, I I would say, how is my day gonna be up until 11 o'clock? Because I have the whole day, so I used to give it to 11 o'clock. And
See,
then
the question is very important,
Yeah.
she gives it a time.
I gave it a time because you have the whole day, I don't know, so as I started to understand them better, I was able to expand the questions. It's like you meet somebody for the first time and you hit it off, right? The cards, you hit it off, but they have this really strong accent. And you're like, what? Excuse me? After a while, you get the accent, right?
Yes.
The accent doesn't bother you anymore. So that's it's kind of stupid, but you know what I mean?
It's true.
But that's what you're like, what does that mean, really? Can you repeat that? And then when they repeat it, you get it. So it's the same thing, you know, but now I ask, describe my day. Now I ask, describe my day, or what do I need to know about today? If I'm working on
If I should
something,
get dressed or not.
you know, like if you're working on something, you might ask about that. Like if you have a project at work, what do I need to know about the project? You want to narrow it down. You know, the more specific your question, the more specific your answer. Like if people say, what is your question? I want to know about love. That's not a question. You know, it really isn't. You know.
How about, am I gonna get my project, whatever I'm working on, done today?
Right, things like that. And today, and now you're being really specific. And then in a case like that, you do a yes or a no. Yes or no questions. You lay out 3 cards.
When we take the class, we'll find out.
I was gonna let it keep going, you know, I'm just like,
No, it's okay. Yes, you lay out 3 cards. This would be a yes, because these are 2 positive. It's like, now we're getting into math. 2 positives and a negative, what does that give you?
positive.
Okay, now we're getting into math.
Okay, now I can understand. Now we're talking my language.
All right, this is like math, 2 positives and a negative, -1 and all this crazy shit. Okay, so this is a yes, and it's telling, and now the answer is yes, right? And then it'll tell you, you're gonna really like it, it's gonna be full of surprises, but it's gonna be very repetitious and stressful. See, so now it gives you the yes, and then it gives you further information on that yes. It's not just yes. Go give me a little more. So then it tells you.
But I'm gonna have a net positive good day.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have an awesome day. What was the question? You're gonna finish your project or something?
Yeah, well, one of my question was, am I gonna get my project done today?
Okay, so the answer is yes.
If you work hard at it,
And
because you
then
have to
you're
win.
gonna-
But
So,
you see,
Here's my Red Bull, and I'm gonna be working late tonight.
But you see, if you see the whip card and you right away take it as, oh, my day is gonna be horrible, that's not what it's saying. This is
Take it
why
in context.
you have to learn it right, how to read these cards. This is such a phenomenal
And 2
system.
positives and a negative.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
So
it.
to my question about my project, we have a heart,
Heart.
and I got a bouquet of flowers.
Mhm.
So to me, it's a positive. I'm gonna learn. So she said surprises to me. That would mean I'm learning something.
Yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
learn something as I'm doing it. It's gonna be good because I'm gonna get it done, but it's gonna be tedious.
It's enjoyment.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't mean you're gonna fall in love with your boss. In context, again, you're gonna love it. You're gonna enjoy it.
The
It's
task.
gonna
yeah.
bring you emotional satisfaction. It's gonna bring surprises and like, oh wow, really? I didn't know that. Ah. See what I'm saying?
I have to do a sustainability report. So I was thinking about the sustainability report. Yes, it's
And then
tedious.
it's gonna be a lot of repetitious,
Yeah.
tedious.
It's
you know,
tedious,
mhm.
but it sounds like I'm
and
gonna have a real
then-
good
and
time
then-
and learn something.
And then as a final advice,
Yeah.
I would say make sure you take some breaks, eat,
Yeah.
you know, then I give advice.
I am taking a break. I'm here.
Now, before we close, and
That's
because
so
we are talking about money, house blessing, and house blessing in general, I want to close with a very deep and heartfelt and compassionate prayer for the people who suffered the house collapse in Florida. This is a horrible tragedy. I've been praying for them since this afternoon. I've been praying to the Buddha Tower that people are rescued, that people are fine, and that eventually they get over the trauma of what happened to them. That's a very traumatic experience. I would want to live on the ground in the basement the rest of my life after that. It's so all of you keep that in mind, that we are grateful for our homes. We pray for those suffering a tragedy as they are today. And we also always pray that all who don't have a roof find one. Many blessings, much wealth and success to all of you. We will see you next Thursday. Remember, every Thursday night, there is the Enchanted Cafe, and starting July 8th, we will be going on at 7 and ending at 8:30, so that we will have time for our Lenormand class with Rhea Segarra. Thank you all. Does anyone have a question before we sign off?
My aunt had a comment,
Yes,
and she said, she thought my presentation was beautiful,
it is.
and she's really upset with me.
But she didn't gag me.
That I didn't bless her house when I was there. So next
Oh my
time,
goodness,
I will
you
bless
owe
her.
her a house blessing.
I owe you a house. blessing.
That's it. You better make her one of those nice blue things to hang up in the house
Yeah.
to commemorate your
Make
house
it one of
blessing.
those jack-o'-lanterns.
Do it all. I'll just like roll up with
That
everything.
jack-o'-lantern, I gotta tell you,
It
was
doesn't-
absolutely
It doesn't have
beautiful.
to be for Halloween,
No.
Samhain, but it's, I think it's a great house blessing.
It is. She brought me this beautiful pumpkin with the house carved, house blessing seal
Her house blessing seal. It's one of my
carved
favorites.
from my book right on the pumpkin, and I was like, wow, look at this. So yes, and it's all gonna be very good for following up with. I hear something. Oh, is that fireworks?
Yeah.
You know, I've just listened to
That
them
was a
saying.
drive-by, just because we were in the Bronx.
No, you know what I thought it was? I'm saying to myself, it's raining.
No,
It's
Fireworks.
fireworks, of
They're getting
course.
ready for
They're
the
getting
4th.
ready for the 4th. But listen, everyone, you know, happy house blessing, lots of ka-ching, ka-ching to your homes, and your safety and your peace and your protection always in your homes. We love you all, and by the way, next week when you tune in, we have something special. Aphrodite, Daisy Orsini and I are getting together, and we are going to be showing you glamour and seduction magic. Get ready. And
woo-woo.
the following week, after we introduce you to the altar and the entire glamour and seduction spell, the following week we will actually be having the live spell. It will be a fee included in the spell casting for that night. But you get to see us how we put it together, and we're going to talk all about glamour and seduction magic, what you can be using as treats to seduce your lover, champagnes, wines, sugars, honeys, you name it, we're doing it. We're even gonna have a can of whipped cream. No, I'm gonna be good. Okay,
Honey.
so
It was honey. It was a powdered honey.
the powdered, get the honey.
This powdered honey?
Did anybody ever see
I never
Fat
knew
Soda
that.
movie? Where they have the food chained up in the cabinets, and the chubby checkers
It's like my
come,
house.
and they're all like, 400 or 500 pound guys, big, over 6 feet tall. And there's a little brother, and he's got the key to the lock. And and it's with Don DeLuise, and they start talking about they want a little more honey for their tea. So they start closing in on the little guy and saying, "Get the honey, Junior, get the honey." If you've never seen Fatso, it's hysterical. It's a great movie. Anyway, get the honey, kids. I'll see you next week on the
Everybody.
Enchanted Cafe. Rita will be rejoining us along with Daisy Orsini, Teacup, and whoever else drops in. It's a cafe night. Who knows? Blessed be all.
Bye.
See you
See
next week.
everyone.
See you next week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Love you all. We sign off?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
I wonder if they have a remote for that.